Chosen ones, as you stand on your doorstep, the third police car of the day passes by. Your neighbors are peering behind the curtain, their phones at the ready to catch the next act of this twisted theater. Rumors have turned into news reports, social media frenzy, and concerned communications from previously indifferent people. Their latest attempt to make you look unstable has also failed, and they have unleashed their own insane obsession to disturb your peace. And what about you? You gather information, record trends, and see how they are involved in paradoxes that would make a spy writer blush. Now they are visible to the public. They are the crazies after you. Before we continue, if you are ready to let the world know that you are not only surviving, but thriving, click the like button and subscribe now. Those who had doubts about you are horrified to see you succeed. Their anguish sees you shining brighter than ever, and now is your time to shine. Now, let's move on. First, they fooled everyone. Their lies were cunning, their words polished, and their tricks so subtle that they seeped into people's thoughts like a whisper in the dark. They were believed. You were the one to watch, the one to talk to in whispers behind closed doors. You were the villain. Layer upon layer of slander was used to carefully build the illusion, distorting every fact until only the desired picture remained. But illusions are temporary. Cracks have also started to appear. First of all, it's just a passing idea. A moment when the pieces of the puzzle don't quite fit, or a glimmer of uncertainty in someone's eyes. Then the murmurs start. Didn't they say something different last time? Why do they keep bringing it up? Why does it feel strange? Slowly and gradually, the uncertainty grows until it becomes impossible to ignore. Instead of destroying you, they reveal themselves, which is a strange result. Their meticulously constructed deceptions and lies were not damaging your reputation, but rather their own. The same people who used to murmur behind your back are now talking about them. They seem obsessed. Why are they so worried? There is a problem here. They are starting to crumble under the weight of their own words. Society sees it, even if they don't see it yet. And once they realize it, there's no going back. You didn't ask for this. You didn't give them a reason to hug you like this or accept them into your life. But they are here. Everywhere you look, their voices echo. In every exchange, sidelong glance, and silent comment where you are not even there. They recite your name like a prayer or an addiction. People are suddenly aware of it. If you believe in divine timing and that love leads you to your true destination, enter 33. At first, it was easy to miss. A remark here, a jibe there. Just another disgruntled individual who lacks self-awareness and has too much time on his hands. However, it continued. When someone brings up a new opportunity, they shift the subject to you. Somehow, a random joke gets back to you. Even if it has nothing to do with you, they find a way. It's creepy. Why are they so worried? This is an interrogation whispered in places they can't hear, spoken in a low voice, and sent in hidden messages. This is not a typical situation. When you bring these things up, people notice how their faces change, how their energy changes, how their tone of voice sharpens. This is not anger. Obsession is a bad thing. They are consumed by concepts about you. They observe your every move, scrutinize your words, and scrutinize your every action, desperate to find something, anything, to explain their obsession. You have to play the bad guy for them. They want an explanation for their relentless search. But the problem is that you don't even accept them. You are alive. You change places. You get up without a care in the world. And that's what they're crazy about. They cannot understand how you refuse to play their game, how you do not respond, and how you do not break under the pressure of their words. So they intensify their efforts. They try to find something that will give them a feeling of power again, They talk more about you and make up tales. You are not there. You don't have to be. Even if you are not there when the scenario is happening, you manage to control the space. It's a social event, a casual gathering. Conversations flow naturally. Laughter echoes. For once, the conversation doesn't include your name. Until you are mentioned. They can't help themselves. It is like an insatiable itch or an uncontrollable urge. Like a poisoned arrow, they insert your name into the discussion and wait for the typical reactions of acknowledgement, exchange of glances, and approval. But there is something different this time. There is no usual clamor of support. The mood changes. An uncomfortable silence. Someone clears their throat. Someone else takes a sip of their drink. Their gaze suddenly shifting from the words spoken to the bottom of their glass. An artificial laugh. A glance back and forth between two people who used to follow each other's every move. Then, everything is revealed. A harsh, tired voice said, "Are you still arguing about this?" This remark, so cool and blunt, is like a slap in the face. It's been months. The words strike with more force than they should. They freeze. Slowly, like a chill down their spine, understanding settles in. This is no ordinary moment. This is the point at which they acknowledge that they have gone too far, that they have said too much, and that those who previously nodded in agreement are now acting restlessly, that their patience has finally run out. Add the number 77 to your message to energize the universe and align your intentions with the flow of divine abundance. Because what started as a rumor has turned into something else entirely. An obsession, an inexplicable resentment. You should be well known by now. If the accusations were true, people would react differently. You would have been ostracized, forgotten, and swallowed up by their stories. Instead, you remain here unharmed and undisturbed. Besides, the more they talk, the more ridiculous they become. They believe they could manipulate the narrative, change reality, control the tale, and make it look like you were the unstable one. It worked for a while. They created suspicions, whispered in your ear, and portrayed you as dangerous, irrational, and untrustworthy. They built their empire of lies one brick at a time, believing that no one would see the loopholes. But now, the walls are closing in on them. They feel the oppressive and unrelenting weight of their deception crashing down on them. And what about you? There is nothing for you to do. You don't have to fight, argue, prove yourself, or defend your reputation. Everything is taken care of for you by the truth, because now they are being watched. Their once polished sentences begin to falter because of their anger, paranoia, and unpredictable behavioral changes. They speak too fast, make contradictory statements, and mix up information they should have learned by now. They are caught in their own web. Irony: the person who labeled you as unstable is now losing control. The tension is eating them alive. You can tell they are having trouble sleeping by the way their eyes glaze over, and their once flawless beauty starts to crumble. They are constantly sleeping, observing and checking up on you because deep down in their hearts they are aware of it. They realize that everything is unraveling now. They are aware that their credibility is being eroded. When they walk into a room, they feel the judgment in every silence and every unspoken thought. It used to be that their every word was hung on others, and now they look at each other when they speak. Now it is their name that is spoken about. They seem to be in trouble. They've been acting strange lately. Why do they have such an obsession? They were the first to attack. They tried to destroy you, discredit you, and turn everyone against you. It takes time for this to happen. There is no heated debate, no negative publicity, no extraordinary encounter. There is nothing but silence. At first, they don't even realize it. They still talk incessantly, mentioning your name whenever they can, and adding their own mumblings to the story, approaching the same people who used to nod enthusiastically in approval. But something is wrong. Responses are shorter and slower. There is no standard verification. Their comments no longer have the same impact. Not because they have given up, but rather because people no longer care. You feel it too. Something has changed in the energy. Where there used to be tension, now there is apathy. And ignorance kills a manipulator faster than anything else. They communicate in long and frantic efforts to keep the narrative going. There is no answer. They call once, twice, 3 times. Straight to voicemail. They lose their audience, one person at a time. First, they tell themselves that nothing is happening. They simply say they are busy. They'll change their minds. They need some time to realize, I'm right. But then, the truth comes out. The silent retreat is not short-lived. It is irreversible. People have left. No more late-night gossip. No more whispering about you. When you are mentioned in a conversation, you will no longer get the response, "Tell me everything." Instead, polite nods, forced grins. Topics change quickly. "So, how's work going?" "Did you watch the game last night?" "Oh, I heard." "What's going on with you?" Thin, organized, but very clear. They're done focusing on them. And in the middle of silence, it's louder than any argument can be, because they can defend themselves against disagreement. When someone confronts them, they can double down. When individuals interact, they have the ability to control, distort, and distort. What about silence? Rejection is silence. What about rejection? That is the one thing they cannot cope with. Frantically, they start looking for new approaches to stay in the spotlight and new targets to fool. But it is too late. The game is over. Nobody is paying attention. What about this? This is destroying them. They have made your name a household word, filled it with hatred, and pronounced it as if it were cursed. They want you to be hated, feared, questioned, and opposed by others. But the opposite has happened. The more they spoke, the more they were exposed. At first, it was subtle. A few suspicious looks, a few silent doubts. People were paying attention, but something was wrong. They kept bringing it up. But why? If they had moved on, why were they still discussing it? If this person is really so bad, why does he or she seem so disinterested? Then you realized that you were not the source of the obsession. They were the source of it. What about compulsive behavior? This is never pleasant. People started listening to you instead of the words they said. How you handled yourself, the way you never talk back, never begging for approval, never rushing to save face, never letting their slander demoralize you. Just keep going. That's when respect started to change. Because of resistance, strength comes from resilience. And there is no denying yours. You never needed to shout for others to see the truth. No one needed to be convinced of your worth. They didn't want you to play their game. Your power was self-evident. And now, because of how you responded to their attacks, rather than the attacks themselves, your name now carries weight. Your enthusiasm has become legendary. People are talking about you, even if not in the way they planned. There are murmurs of admiration rather than whispers of distrust. They've tried everything, but they still haven't been offended. Maybe if this person is so obsessed with them, the problem is them rather than the chosen one. Maybe they are truly different when they are able to move beyond all that. People now look up to the person they are trying to destroy. Also, the more they try to bury you, the higher you rise. Their intention was to discredit you. On the contrary, they made you memorable. They believed they were loyal. They believed that no one would defy them. They believed they had convinced everyone to see you the way they wanted to see you. And now they are the ones being questioned. The first signs are small things, like a hesitation in conversation, a slight change in body language, or a friend who used to gossip enthusiastically becoming silent when your name is mentioned. Then the distance begins. People who used to laugh at their comments, support their lies, and tolerate their slander no longer participate. They change the subject. They start to distance themselves because something doesn't seem right anymore. And they start to question, what if I'm next? What if they do to me what they did to them? The claws of this thought dig deep because they have personal experience with this. They have seen this person tear someone to pieces without feeling guilty. They have seen them yell and obsess and make the same accusations over and over again. They have seen that they cannot let go, they cannot move on, and they cannot stop arguing with you. Now they start questioning why. If they can do it to themselves, why can't they do it to me? That's when the fear starts. They are now ostracized by those they once considered allies. Friends who used to support them now doubt everything. No one wants to be the next victim. No one wants to be the next person they can't stop looking at. Moreover, when manipulators feel abandoned, they are terrified, their grip loosens, and they realize that their circle is shrinking. They go on the offensive. They struggle to hold on to the individual slipping through their fingers. But it is too late, because they are now the topic of conversation. They are now the ones people avoid. They are now seen as pests by everyone. But what about the person they are trying to destroy? He's still standing. He's still good, unchanged. You were never the problem. And now, finally, they realized. It was never just rumors. It was never just slander. It was never just a disgruntled individual who didn't like you. No, there was always a conflict, a struggle between light and dark, something deeper and older. And what about you? They were never just jealous of you. They never only aimed to damage your reputation. You were chosen. And it is always the chosen ones who are targeted, because just being around you ruins their whole life. You didn't understand that at first. Why are they so hostile towards me? I haven't done anything to them. Why do they have such an obsession? But today, you can see it clearly. It's not about what you did. It's about your identity. They feel it, even if they can't express it. Your intensity makes them uneasy. What they try to hide is revealed by your light. Everything they defend is directly threatened by your presence. They feel inferior when they see you. They feel helpless when they see you. They realize deep down that they cannot compete with you in spirit, power, or being. As a result, they try to weaken you. To make themselves comfortable, they believe that they could use lies to destroy you, to make you question yourself, to cause you to fall apart and lose faith in yourself. However, they made a mistake. They should have realized. This is not where you were sent to fit in. You were not sent here because you were small. You came here to dispel illusions, to shift energy, and to reveal what has been hiding in the shadows. That truth is burning now. It is also burning them. Because no matter how much they talk, no matter how much they plan, no matter how much they scheme, they will never be able to stop you. They can belittle you. They can say false things about you. They can send attack after attack. You will still stand up. You will continue to shine. You still continue to live authentically. Because this is more than their personal grudge. It goes beyond a simple smear campaign. They are not even at the center of it anymore. This is a bigger issue. It's spiritual, and that's why they will never prevail. This is happening. Slowly at first, then all at once. They no longer have the same influence on people's thoughts. The influence they exerted through manipulation and whispering is dissipating. They feel it too. Panic sets in. Because they have devoted so much of their effort to dominating the narrative, trapping people in their own interpretation of reality, and keeping you under their thumb. However, the spell is no longer in effect. The lies are no longer falling. Also, the horrors they tried to inspire in others are now backfiring. When they realize they have lost control, they go berserk, as manipulators always do. They go on the offensive. They act in a frenzied manner. It happens in real time for you to see. Well-planned slanders turn into ugly accusations. Subtle jabs turn into outright tirades. The mask they have been wearing for so long is starting to come apart at the seams. People have listened in the past. They nodded in agreement. In the past, they contributed to the drama. But now they see you for what you are. Pathetic. No one is interested in their endless stories about you. No one is interested in their distorted stories and repeated sob stories. They are not getting the vitality they need from anyone. This makes them angry. They try one more time, one last effort to take over. Bigger lies, more complex stories, more ridiculous claims. They will make up anything to draw attention to you. But the response? Nothing. Blank stares, awkward silences. Without them, conversations change. When they shout, the void does not respond. Because their influence is gone. No one takes them seriously. No one participates. No one is interested. They believed they could rule the game forever. They believed they could control humanity forever. But the moment they lost their audience, they lost everything. And now they have nothing left. Only the burden of their own deception. Only the truth they tried to escape. Only the shame of knowing they subjected themselves to it. And what about you? You stand exactly where you were before, silent, indifferent, and fearless. Because you never had the power to bring them down. They had it. They believed they were in control. But in the end, they got tangled in their own web. Now they have to live there on their own. At first, they were against it. They don't think that it is all over, that nobody cares or listens, that all their intrigues and deceptions and attempts to ruin you have brought them to this point where they are alone. This was not a sudden event. It happened piece by piece. People started leaving one by one. Doors closed in their faces one by one. Gradually, they became exactly what they are trying to make you: forgetful. They hold out their hands, but no one answers. They complain online, but no one answers. They try one last smear and one last effort to win people over once again. But like a ghost, silence welcomes them. They are leaving now. Their social media accounts are deleted. Their accounts are deactivated. Some move to another city, hoping to avoid the repercussions of their actions. But reality follows them wherever they go. Because it was never about the place. It was about them. All bridges were destroyed. They ruined all relationships. They believed they were in charge. But in the end, they were only involved in a game that nobody wanted to play. And now what? All they have left is themselves, sitting in the same darkness they tried to drag you into, suffering under the weight of their own decisions. They want you to break. They want you to be alone. But instead, they did it to themselves. And what about you? You continue to stand up, undisturbed, unaffected. Because you never had to fight this struggle. In trying to destroy you, they destroyed themselves. Now all they can do is watch you continue to rise from the shadows, still favored, still chosen, still untouchable. And that is something they will never, ever be able to overcome. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if it resonates with you, share this message with others who need to hear it. Tell us about your experience and how you are preparing for your own triumphant comeback in the comments section below. Don't stop there. Watch our next video for insightful information on the signs that you are the one. We have loved accompanying you on this spiritual journey, and thank you for being with us all along the way. Keep shining brightly and bravely, facing your destiny. See you all later.